Clark, let it be known, she does not like this Stephanie White offense, how these players in the WNBA don't even know where to move or how to move or where to cut. And that leads to a lot of her turnovers. And she also states how much she misses Lisa Bluder. And I think all of us Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark fans prefer if Lisa Bluder was the head coach.
Caitlin Clark isn't just filling the stat sheet. She's practically rewriting the rookie record book while quietly throwing shade at the very offense she's running. Picture this. Breaking milestones on the court, then hinting she'd love her old college coach to drop in like some hoop Cinderella story. It's part fairy tale, part soap opera, and old drama. Between the jaw-dropping numbers and whispers of playbook she's not exactly in love with, this story might have more heat than her three-point range. And that's saying something.
I mean, what's going on here? And I'm sorry, but if Stephanie White's supposed to be this all-world coach, you're not going to show up to a game against the Phoenix Mercury with DeWanna Bonner playing on the other side after what she did to the Indiana Fever franchise, and you show up there and somehow the team is lifeless? Sophie Cunningham coming back to Phoenix and the team is lifeless? That is the...
Caitlin Clark didn't enter the WNBA to politely run the pass here, pass there, jog in a circle of fence. This is the same phenom who, as a college rookie, had Lisa Bluder hand her the keys to a Ferrari and basically say, "Go, just try not to wreck it." Spoiler, she didn't wreck it. She floored it, took it off-road, ignored the speed limit entirely, and somehow turned every risky maneuver into a highlight clip. Now she's bringing that same fearless pedal to the metal style to a league that isn't ready for it.
Sums up why I can't stand Stephanie White as a basketball coach for Caitlin Clark. Like, I don't think that Stephanie White is a bad coach. Like, don't get it twisted. She's not a bad coach at all. I just don't think she's the right coach for Caitlin Clark. So let's take a listen to this right here. This was on the podcast with Super 8.
But I think that's even been something like me and Steph have like always talk about when we go and watch film, and even like that New York game where like I played really, really well. Obviously scored a lot of points. I think I had 9 assists or 10 assists that game.
She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple-double. And like, is the only reason.
So imagine the shock when she hits the WNBA and gets dropped into the Stephanie White offense, which, let's be real, feels less like an offense and more like an HOA meeting debating mailbox colors, regulations at every turn, creativity locked in the garage, and every play call stamped with approved but uninspired.
Man, it's just going to be interesting to see her come back and see this team fully go full circle around their set leader, and I'm still banking on it being Caitlin Clark. Without Caitlin Clark, they had 19 in the one game and 16 in their previous game without CC even playing.
Then comes the Liberty game. Caitlin isn't just warming up. She's on a full-blown scoring blaze. We're talking call the fire marshal. This building's about to melt levels of cooking. Fourth quarter hits and sure she makes 2 turnovers. So what? Even Michael Jordan turned it over and nobody ever told him, "Mike, that's it. Grab a seat and think about what you've done." But here, boom. Clark's yanked like she just broke curfew. One moment she's torching the defense. The next she's parked on the bench watching the game slip away like a kid grounded in the middle of recess.
My precious Cece, she was upset. She didn't say nothing, no smiling, walked off, not looking at no cameras. I'm talking about, you can tell it's all on her face. She got it in her mind. But look, I need y'all to understand. That was so embarrassing and pathetic, and the teamwork was not there. But I remember Jordan had got hurt his second year. He didn't come back into playoffs, and that playoff series was legendary. He scored 63 points in one game, but he still lost.
Meanwhile, other players are out there coughing up turnovers like they're handing out free gift baskets and still racking up minutes. No quick hook, no bench timeout, nothing. The only exceptions, Tash and Mitchell, who along with Clark seem to be the only ones granted a whole pass to play basketball with any freedom. Everyone else is stuck running the don't color outside the lines offense, while Clark gets sidelined the moment she dares to take a risk.
the Stephanie White offense compared to what she was doing at Iowa when she took over the world? Let's take a look.
At the college, like, it was very similar. Like, all out attack, like, we're known to have like 5 shooters on the floor at all time. Like, we played with really good floor spacing, and at Iowa it was the same way. Like, 4 people were on the floor that could shoot at the same time. Then obviously we usually played with a true post, but they rarely missed too. Like, Mon never missed. Like, Hannah Stolke was tremendous when I was there too, and even our backup post players. Like, I always think about like how Coach Bluder like ran practices and things, and like I'm very fortunate looking back and like now going to like watch other colleges' practices and things like that. Like, she really like was so intentional about like making sure.
Here's the problem. WNBA coaches like Stephanie White are so locked into don't make a mistake basketball that they've forgotten this is supposed to be put on a show basketball. You don't build wins or fans on a strategy that boils down to try not to embarrass yourself. That's not an offense. That's hostage negotiations with a shot clock. Lisa Bluder never coached that way. She didn't lose her mind if Caitlin threw a risky pass or launched one from a parking lot. Bluder understood that high-risk, high-reward plays are the reward. You don't leash a player because the last gamble didn't land. You feed her the ball again because the next one could be the dagger. In White's system, the philosophy feels more like play perfectly or go sit down. That works fine if you're coaching robots. But newsflash, these aren't robots. These are elite athletes with basketball IQ so sharp they can see passing lanes before the defense even realizes the ball's in the air. And Caitlin Clark's vision, that's the maddening part. She sees plays unfolding 3 seconds before they happen, a skill most vets never develop. But instead of letting her weaponize that, White keeps her boxing like she's afraid Caitlin might dribble into another dimension if given too much freedom. The result, a generational talent forced to color inside the lines while the game and the fans are robbed of the very chaos that makes a magic work.
In over 10 years, and Caitlin Clark has something to do with that, man. They was 8-5 with Caitlin. At the end of the day, no matter how many games they win, they lost more games without Caitlin Clark playing. Like, so everybody argument that Caitlin Clark is the Achilles heel, Caitlin Clark is this and that, your argument is obsolete, bro. They will forever have that notion on their that blemish on there. Now, if they would have won more games, lost less, then you might have.
You know what the WNBA is missing right now? Basketball IQ that leads a game instead of trailing behind it. And some of these top college coaches, they've got it in abundance. Drop Lisa Bluder into the league tomorrow and she'd have a roster putting up 110 points a night without even breaking a sweat. Instead, the current system is strangling creativity in favor of safe basketball. The kind that's about as thrilling as watching paint dry in slow motion. Players are scared to take chances because one mistake equals an instant ticket to the bench. If you're Caitlin Clark, that means your creativity gets muzzled, your confidence starts to erode, and fans who came to see magic are stuck watching timid passes and desperate last-second heaves. This isn't just about one game. It's about an entire mindset. A mindset that says, don't do it unless you're sure it'll work. Sounds reasonable until you remember that every iconic moment in basketball history started with someone not being sure and doing it anyway. The league needs a freedom college stars thrive under. We need coaches who understand that turnover-chasing greatness is worth 10 safe possessions that die on the vine. Bring back Lisa Bluder energy to the WNBA and maybe we'll get the kind of basketball that makes people stop scrolling and start watching.
How in the world did you hire this coach because she have ties to Indiana? What does that mean? She be icing her players. So did y'all, if y'all watched the game, y'all saw that she set Sophie for the second half until she
Because right now, the only thing more predictable than the offense is Caitlin Clark ending up on the bench for daring to be exciting. And if that's a new standard, don't be shocked when the league loses the very thing it needs most. Players who make you want to watch. And let's just address the elephant in the gym. The WNBA's obsession with veteran preference. Oh, you thought meritocracy ruled? Cute. In reality, the hierarchy is simple. If you've been around longer than the rookie, you can trip over your own shoelaces, miss 3 open layups, and accidentally pass the ball to the mascot, and you're still in the game. Rookie, commit 1 flashy turnover while trying to make a play. Boom. You're wearing warm-ups before the sweat's even dried. Caitlin Clark, the player who sees passing lanes like Neo sees a Matrix code, gets sat down for, wait for it, trying to create offense. Imagine punishing a chef for adding seasoning because the recipe didn't call for it. That's the kind of logic we're working with here. This is where Lisa Bluder deserves a standing ovation. From day one, she didn't just hand clock the offense. She practically gift-wrapped it, slapped a do not return sticker on it, and said, "It's yours now. Make it sparkle." Bluder understood that confidence isn't built by yanking a player for every imperfection. It's built by letting them figure it out in real time, even if that means the occasional ugly possession.
Indiana Fever fans, so let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100 like a Ben Frank. You hear me? So let me ask y'all again. Is Stephanie White a good coach? A great coach? I'm waiting. No, she not. Not even close. If anything, she puts a star in the offense. She's sucking the life out of the team, out of the franchise. And Kelly Krostoff, whatever her name is, Lyndon, you hear me? They all need to go.
But if we look at the recent happenings, we will find out that Stephanie White's offense feels like a tax return, complicated, full of unnecessary steps, and always ended with someone frustrated. The sets are rigid. The ball movement is cautious. It's the basketball equivalent of driving 35 in the fast lane with your hazard lights on. Sure, you might avoid an accident, but you're also making sure nobody's having any fun. And the real kicker, this isn't about Caitlin having rookie growing pains. No, this is about stifling the one thing that made her special in the first place, her unpredictability. You want the defense to fear she might pull up from the logo, thread an impossible pass, or completely change the rhythm of a game. You don't get that by playing within a system that treats innovation like it's a technical foul. It's almost ironic. The WNBA is desperate for highlight plays, viral moments, anything to grab casual fans scrolling through their feeds. And yet, when someone like Clark brings up potential, the leash is shorter than a toddler's in an amusement park. And please don't tell me it's about protecting the rookie from mistakes. That's code for we want you to play our way, even if it kills your natural game. Meanwhile, college coaches like Bluder don't just understand the game. They understand players. They know when to push, when to pull back, and when to just let a star be a star. You think Bluder would have benched Clark after 2 turnovers in the fourth? Please. She'd have been drawing up another play for her and saying, "Go make them pay for even thinking you're off your game."
Stephanie White, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White, remains fully confident in her team following Thursday's deflating loss. The veteran coach sent a clear message. It was a 35-point ass drubbing. It was deliverance and Ned Beatty. Anybody seen that? Squeal like a pig? Yeah. The Phoenix Mercury bleeped the shit out of the Indiana Fever.
And speaking of off your game, let's talk about the message this sends to the rest of the roster. If your star rookie, the one bringing in ticket sales, TV ratings, and actual wins, can be benched for a minor slip, what does that tell everyone else? Play safe. Avoid risk. Don't try anything new. It's basketball with the excitement surgically removed. Which brings us back to the bigger problem. Basketball IQ. There's a shortage, and it's not with the players, it's with the systems. The best minds in the game aren't always on the sidelines at the pro level. In fact, some of them are still in the NCAA running circles around pro coaches with less talent but more creativity. Because here's the truth. Basketball IQ isn't just knowing the plays. It's knowing your players. It's recognizing that Caitlin Clark's vision is a weapon, not a liability. It's realizing that a risky pass that almost works is still better than a safe pass that leads to nothing. And it's understanding that fans don't show up to watch risk-averse basketball. They show up for the moments that make them jump out of their seats. Let's be brutally honest. There are players in this league who have mastered the art of looking busy while doing absolutely nothing productive on the floor. They are cardio kings and queens. But because they don't rock the boat or deviate from the script, they are safe. And yet, Clark takes one gamble too many, and she's got a front row seat to the rest of the game.
In the post-game press conference, Caitlin Clark Stephanie White made sure to give out about Caitlin Clark not passing the ball to Dantas. Like, we've seen Damiris Dantas play. She can't shoot. Why would Caitlin Clark pass the ball on an all-time heater to Dantas?
This is just his last game this year. I started the fourth quarter off with like 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row, and Steph yanked me, and she was like this is like a learning moment. Like you got to be able to like, yes, like maybe it could have been there, like maybe you could have thrown a little bit better of a pass, maybe they could have caught it, but like, do we need that?
If you want to grow the WNBA, you don't muzzle the most electric player to come in since well ever. You give her the same freedom she had under Bluder, because that's when she's dangerous. That's when she's a player everyone came to see. And look, turnovers happen. They are part of the game. You can't be aggressive without them. But you know what's worse than turnovers? An offense so predictable that the defense could defend it blindfolded while reciting the alphabet backward. And that's the difference between a coach who trusts her players and a coach who trusts the system more than the people running it. Until the WNBA embraces that philosophy, we're going to keep seeing this same cycle. Talented players getting boxed in by systems that prioritize control over creativity. And it's not just a Caitlin Clark problem. It's a league-wide issue. But Clark's a perfect case study because we know what she looks like with freedom. We saw it for years. We saw her torch teams with a style that made even neutral fans tune in. Right now, she's being forced into a style that fits the coach's comfort zone instead of her own. And all that does is dim the very spark that made her a household name before she even played a professional game.
Lisa Bluder always made sure people knew what they were going to do, aka she made sure people knew their role. Everybody knew their role, and that is the problem with the Indiana Fever and the bullcrap that Caitlin Clark deals with now. We got Natasha Howard coming in talking about she wanted to win MVP. Red flag. Red flag. We got Caitlin Clark, and you're talking about joining this team and winning MVP. She didn't know her role. Didn't know her role. That is the difference. We got a bunch of people on this team that do not know and understand their role.
Here's the real fix. Hire coaches who build their strategy around their players, not around a dusty playbook they've been recycling for a decade. Let Clark run wild. Let her push the pace, test the limits, and yes, make mistakes. The WNBA doesn't need more safe possessions. It needs more moments that make fans jump out of their seats. The kind of plays that get replayed for years, not forgotten by halftime. Right now, the league's most dynamic creator is spending too much time riding the bench when she should be making the highlight reel. If she can handle that, she can handle 2 turnovers without being bubble wrapped. The real problem with play it safe coaching is that it treats mistakes like the enemy when the real enemy is predictability. A turnover stings for possession. And right now Clark's offense in this system has all the spontaneity of a government form. Give her the freedom to improvise and you'll get chaos, creativity, and most importantly wins. Safe basketball doesn't fill arenas. Moments do.
As today, Stephanie White has a clear conundrum on her hands, and she needs to figure out a solution to this problem before it's too little, too late. When Caitlin Clark was out with injury, Natasha Howard played well. Natasha Howard played well enough that kept us afloat along with Ari McDonald, along with Kelsey Mitchell, but Natasha Howard wasn't nearly as much of a hinder to the offense with...
She wasn't just scoring. She was conducting the whole show. Every trip down the court felt like a spark was about to fly. A logo 3, a no-look dime, a quick steal turning into a fast break. That sense of anything can happen kept defenders on edge and fans glued to their seats. The league is still in the fight for mainstream attention. And you don't win that battle by turning your biggest draw into a scripted role player. You win it by letting your stars play the way that made them household names in the first place. Bring back the freedom. Bring back the swagger. Bring back the same green light Lisa Bluder gave Clark from day one. Let her throw the risky pass because half the time it's going to connect. And when it does, it's everywhere from Sports Center to TikTok. Right now, the WNBA is holding a golden ticket in Caitlin Clark. But if the system keeps clipping her wings, that ticket is going to turn into a crumpled receipt. And receipts don't sell out arenas. If you enjoyed, leaving a like and subscribing.